If you just look at these two in a photo, it's fake as hell, right? This ain't what it'll look like. Maybe like in the first month, but by like month 6, this isn't what it looks like, right? um, I do that series on my Instagram story, which if you're seeing this in my feed, you probably miss out on. I do this like sarcasm kind of thing where I post a question and about love and dating advice, and people send me their questions, and I kind of just light them up with sarcastic responses. But one reoccurring theme is dating apps suck, and dating in today's world is miserable. So I was like, all right, I'll cut back on the sarcasm for like a minute, and I'll just kind of tell you where my mind goes. And I did a similar episode on my podcast, Lyrically Provoked, on the Hey Lover song from LL Cool J. Here we go. The thought is there's something that's kind of like in the middle of the friends with benefits and I need a full time lockdown relationship. And in that bucket's it's called a lover. And you kind of think of it as someone that you can hang out with, you can hook up with, but it's not someone you feel obligated to do things with. So the problem with like hookup culture is, some people like it, some people hate it. A lot of people seem to hate it. Um, some people don't care how many people they sleep with. Um, they don't care if they're racking up body count like the John Wick trilogy. They don't care. Some of them actually think it's a badge of honor. Other people don't want to do that. They don't want to just sleep around, hook up with 2 or 3 different people every month. I say to each their own, right? But there is that middle ground. How do I have someone that's not just using me for sex and I don't want to have to go to every wedding and family event, right? Which is like every relationship. There's those like weddings you don't want to go to. You don't want to go to their parents' house or their cousins, brothers, sisters, mothers, dogs, puppies, newborn birthday party. You don't want to go to that shit. You got your own life going on, right? There's things you want to do. You got your friends, you got your family, your job, your career, your school. The last thing you want to do is go to someone's birthday party that you don't give 2 shits about, just so you can keep your significant other company. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. There's just some people that don't want to do that, but at the same time they want companionship and they want someone to hook up with. Maybe once in a while go to dinner, maybe go do something, but not with that constant obligation of, God damn, I just want to wake up on Saturday morning and not feel obligated to give you my time. Um, this is pretty common amongst young professionals. If you're in your 20s, I saw that when I was dating in my 20s. Doctors and lawyers, they didn't want to get locked down. They didn't want to date multiple people, but they also didn't want to have to deal with going to someone's birthday party they didn't want to go to, or they didn't have time to. If you're in med school, shit's busy. You're in law school, shit's busy. If you're actually working as a doctor or a lawyer, shit's busy. And you really learn like they figured out ways to compartmentalize their life to where I'm putting myself and my career first, and sometimes school and career at the same damn time. Then I'm going to make time for the person I want to spend time with, but I don't also have time for their hobbies and their life, if that makes any sense. And you mix that in with today's world where it's like just hookup. No one wants to do any long term anything anymore, especially if you're like divorced in your 30s and 40s. It sounds like it's pretty much hell out there if you're on the dating apps. So my thought is, can you just find someone that's kind of on an even keel, that kind of cares about you a little bit, that's not just using you for sex, enjoys your company, right? I mean, everyone is hooked up with someone they couldn't stand, right? That you're really attracted to them and you wanted to sleep with them, but the sound of their voice or even being in their presence drove you insane, right? It's, do you just want to bounce around and just keep hooking up and keep hooking up? Some people want to do that, and that's cool. But the part of my Instagram story when I answer those questions, I mean, there's dozens. I might get even 20, 30, 40 people say the same question response they give anyways about the dating apps suck. Dating in this world sucks. No one wants to Everyone just wants to play you and hook up, move on to the next one. Well, this is where technology didn't make everything better, right? We live in a world where we put these tech companies up on a pedestal and they're tech gods, and we look up to them and they're awesome, and they keep creating shit that destroys society. They just came out and said, I did another episode on this, how bad Instagram is for teenagers. It's okay, shit we knew 5 years ago. You had to do some super in-depth research report to figure out shit that common sense told you 60 months ago. What do you think TikTok's doing to society? What do you think TikTok's doing to teenagers? That ain't good. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat didn't make the world better. Do you think that dating apps made the world better? It made it better for the really attractive people that want hookups, right? They're out there they're slaying, right? They're dehydrated. They've been so busy humping each other. It's like their exercise, right? Works really well for them. For everyone else that maybe isn't in that top 1% of looks, who actually wants to settle down or have some kind of relationship, it sucks. Because what dating app, what you see Tinder and Bumble as in Hinge, I don't know, well, there's probably more. What you see, it's basically the equivalent of like Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub. That's exactly what those apps are now. While someone is sitting at home one night and they're trying to order food and they're like, what do I want tonight? Do I want Mexican? Do I want Asian? Do I want Italian? And they're flipping through this menu of what they're in the mood for. That's what the dating apps have done. What am I in the mood for? And you go scrolling through and you go looking for it. And then it's like, well, you hook up with somebody and it's the equivalent of having pizza. And then the next day you're scrolling through the app and someone else pops up and it's pizza again. And no one wants to order pizza 2 nights in a row, right? So they just go on to the next thing or something different. Yeah, it sucks. You got to find somebody that's not in that mode. That maybe they don't want to get fully locked down. There's people that are exiting relationships right now. I mean, it's like the best, believe it or not, it could be the best time to catch somebody that's in between the hookup mode and the full relationship mode. Is someone that's kind of exiting a relationship, but they have their shit together. Not the people that are exiting and they don't have their shit together. Those people are a nightmare. But you can find that person that just, they don't want either one, but they do want some companionship. They don't want to be alone. And it's kind of like on an even keel. Or you find that really busy professional. Someone that is tied up with college, or tied up with work. They're tied up with work and college. They're chasing a dream. And they don't want the body count of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And at the same time, they don't want to go to your father's retirement party. So, they just want to spend time with you, go to the bar, get a drink, go see a movie, hook up, probably not even stay the night, right? You're not leaving a toothbrush at this person's house. That's a lover. Someone that actually kind of cares about you a little bit. Friends with benefits, most of the time it's just they want to hit it and quit it. It's, I'm going to hit you up at 2 a.m. Hell, some people hit you up at 6 a.m. They just want sex. Boom, they're out the door. They don't even want to get a breakfast. There's no latte. There's no cappuccino. There's no conversation. There's no how your day. It's just, let's hook up real quick and I'm out. You probably don't even get you're not even going to get a warm towel. They're gone. So the thought is back to the lover. And we're so stuck in this thing of, we're very rigid, where like relationships got to be these super locked down things. And it's like, it's not 1950 anymore. There's all these different kinds of relationships. There's, you can be monogamous. You can be a player. There's people who have open relationships and they're happy. And I'm not even talking swingers. I'm just saying that like a little subset of open relationships. There's all these different ways you can find happiness. It's whatever you want in life, you can go seek it or create it. You don't have to just get stuck to some social construct that was created in 1870. So this construct can be a lover. If two people agree to the rules to the game, then what's wrong with that? And those rules are, we're going to hang out when we have time. It would be, cool to hook up. Maybe, wait, you get in the kind of relationship where you can hook up and then go get a dinner and drink afterwards. Get in that setup and then you really made it. Not the, I got to go out and do the dinner and the drink and then take you home. If you can like hook up first and then, because you actually enjoy their company, right? If you got the hookup part of the way and you actually want to go out and have a drink or have dinner with them, it's like, okay, this person's not terrible to be around. Um, but back to that thought of, there's a lot of people out there that are just swiping through the apps and they don't care what your personality is. They care what you look like. They might have a checklist. They're trying to hook up with certain types of people. It's what they're in the mood for. And it's like, do you want to spend your life feeling someone is thumbing through a Grubhub menu? It sounds miserable. Unless you're that top 1% of people in looks and they're out there having a really good time right now, it sounds like. For everyone else, it sounds like a goddamn nightmare. You hit up a lot of people, male and female, that are divorced in their late 30s, early 40s. Man, it's hell. It seems like everyone goes younger. And they're not even, if you're like a 42-year-old female, like 42-year-old dudes aren't even, they're not looking for 42-year-old females. They're looking for like 32-year-olds. And then it's like, well, shit, hold on, but you got to settle for, dudes that are 52. I mean, it's tough out there. But then I talk to guys that are, they're recently divorced, late 30s, early 40s, and the same shit's going on with women. He's like, yeah, the 40-year-old women, they're out there doing like 28-year-olds. Like, they're out there getting ab boy that, he lasts 3 minutes and shit, they're doing 2 of those a night. That's where the world's at right now. So if you're lucky, you find a lover. Hopefully you don't gotta like go on 37 dates to find one, but who knows? Anyways, try not to be too sarcastic, lighten up some people today. I'll do another love and dating advice in about a week or so. I'll put that on my story. I'll post a thing to send me your love and dating questions, and I'll hit you with a little sarcasm. But it comes up so often, I thought I'd just do a quick episode about that there are other ways than just sleeping around or having to get completely locked down in 3 weeks. With the way we live, you can live by any rules you want. You just got to find someone that sees eye to eye with you. And man, it sounds tough out there. I wish you luck. When you find a good one, don't lose them. That's probably the best advice. In the meantime, have fun. I think a lot of people take this shit too serious, and if they don't, their whole self-worth is going to rise and fall on whether or not the date went good last night. There's like 8 billion people out there, man. It's shit, you get bored, someone will fly in from like Russia for you. It's there's no lack of people out there. Yeah, you're going to run into a bunch of bad ones. You try not to get used, you try not to get played. Probably going to happen. It's part of the game. But general thought is just find someone that's in that same station in life. If you're, male or female, and you're 37 years old and you just divorced and you got kids, go find someone that's like 37-year-old and divorced and has kids. Like, just try to find someone on that same wavelength. I get these messages. I remember this one lady, was complaining that this guy quote unquote played her, and she's 42, and this dude's like 27. He's like, he really likes me for me. And I'm like, okay, talk that shit in like 3 weeks from now. And then 3 weeks later, she's like, oh, you dumped me. And like, well, yeah. He's like 26 years old. He's playing video games. He smells like Axe body spray. Probably hasn't washed his feet in like 3 weeks. They probably smell like fine Parmesan cheese. But you think he is genuinely interested in your 42-year-old ass with kids? No, man. But it's like, I get it. You want to feel good, and this shit feels good. And it's the same thing, dudes do the same shit. They find someone that's like 15 years younger, and they go, oh, it's really true love. And then, 3 months later, it's like, oh, she went back to her ex-boyfriend. Like, I'm sure you had fun, right? But in the moment when you start believing that shit, you just set yourself up for disappointment. Man, if you know that's going on, and say, hey, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to ride this shit out to the end. I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. And I'm not going to get too emotionally invested. It's like you stop letting your self-worth and your happiness rise and fall with these people who are only going to be in your life for like a moment. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a moment, right? So for those people that are struggling, find a lover. Find someone in the middle. Someone you can get a cup of coffee with and then go and bang their brains out. and then have a croissant. I don't know. That's all I got for you on this one. Make sure you tune into the next love and dating advice. I'll try to keep the comments reasonable, like a little bit of sarcasm. But until then, I'm gonna catch you on the next one.